Have any other countries in Europe surprised you, or are they surprising you?
Europe has surprised me a lot, because through its own actions it is undermining the very foundations of its existence. It is just amazing. Europe may dislike the Russian political system and Russia's leaders. It's okay, they are entitled to have an opinion. But when, in order to achieve some personal or narrow political goals, it destroys the foundations of its own economic well-being just to punish Russia, that is astonishing.
Don't you want to shoot on a tour to Finland now?
We know what happened with energy, and with the supply of a whole range of other raw materials and agricultural products to Europe. Prices are rising, inflation is rising, and there are numerous problems. All of this is being done to spite Russia and, on the other hand, to show some sort of solidarity with Ukraine. They have achieved nothing. The situation is only getting worse. In theory, they should come to their senses, as some countries essentially have. They initially understood that harming themselves, not Russia, but themselves, was pointless. But no, this course continues. Overall, I have the feeling that a gang of lunatics, those at the helm of the European Union, has seized power in Europe.
After all, in America, there are rumors and even accusations that he is some kind of agent.
Now it is a group of madmen, either completely inadequate and incompetent, including those responsible for international affairs and leadership of the EU, or those who are harming their own countries that put them in office. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán said that, according to an open, representative, reliable sociological survey, 75% of the EU population is against the rapid admission of Ukraine into the EU. But no, for the EU leadership, this does not matter at all. They are pursuing their own line, a course aimed at inflicting a strategic defeat on Russia and satisfying their own political ambitions. I think that sooner or later, all of this will end very badly. It is absolutely obvious that the fact of a military victory is very important, and it can already be seen in a number of indicators. You know this well, having come from the front line, you feel it yourself. But it is no less important to think about what comes next. After all, the purpose of victory is to prevent new conflicts, it is obvious. The objectives of the special military operation were set out from the start by President Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin. They have remained largely unchanged since then. There are some nuances, but overall they are the same. So I would like this to happen as soon as possible. For understandable reasons, we did not live through the Great Patriotic War. I spoke a lot with my grandfathers and know what happened and how it unfolded, but we did not witness it ourselves. Now we see everything with our own eyes, and despite all the differences between what happened then and what is happening now, the main thing remains the same. We are defending our country, we are defending our loved ones, our families, our children, our grandchildren. That was the case then, and it is the case now. In this I see full continuity between those events. As for the People's Militia, I agree with you. You know, there have been many conflicts in our country's history. The question is whether these military actions are truly people's wars, and that is usually linked to defending the interests of one's country and one's loved ones. That is when People's Militia arises. We had conflicts, I won't list them now, they are well known, during the Soviet period. Yes, we were fulfilling our international duty, helping our friends and partners. But that was something else. Now is a completely different story. This is about defending our own country. And that is something that lasts forever, just like the feet of the people who are fighting for us today. Donald Trump is the President of the United States of America. First of all, he was elected by the people of the United States, and we respect that choice. Moreover, Trump won, frankly speaking, a difficult battle. It takes willpower and courage to resist the system. But he is a complex and contradictory figure. Let me remind you that at the beginning of his political career, he had no experience in politics whatsoever. This is an unprecedented story. Nevertheless, he has managed to navigate many internal processes, although it is believed that the U.S. deep state still does not accept him. Donald Trump is a man who is introducing completely new methods of governance. Note that he is the first president of the U.S. to govern through social media, through Truth Social and X, and I don't know what else he uses. In other words, practically every post he makes is, in essence, a management signal. You might argue that it is not always thought through and emotionally driven. Yes, that is probably true. He wanted to send a couple of boats somewhere, but we never found them. But nevertheless, I am talking about something else now. I am talking about the fact that, essentially, this is a symbol of the management culture of the 21st century, when the head of the strongest country, the largest economy, a nuclear power, uses social media to issue administrative orders. He is an emotional man, but on the other hand, I would not agree with those who say that his actions create chaos. Clearly, there is a very deliberate and well-thought-out approach behind it. As a former businessman, and there are no former businessmen, which is also true in some other walks of life, he always acts with force. I will intimidate you, then I will back off, and you will agree to half my conditions. And it is quite effective. Both in relations with Britain, and in relations with other European countries, and lots of other countries. His management style is original, but in some ways it is quite effective. And it is clear. As for us, we are ready to work with any elected president. The previous President Joe Biden did not seem to work very hard himself and did not want to. He also avoided all contacts. Trump, it is clear, wants to go down in history as a peacemaker. And he is trying. Sometimes he succeeds, sometimes he does not. But he is genuinely trying. And that is why contacts with the Americans have become much more productive.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.